Morning. My name is Greg Joyce from Thrive Technologies, and I'm going to take you through an overview of MYOB and the Advanced Construction Edition. So without any further ado, go straight into the product and we'll have a look at all of the great features in here. This is my home page that I get when I log into MYOB Advanced Construction. You can see it's about projects here. These are dashboards and reports and drill downs that I can have as my home page. These can be set up by individual user or as a role. So you might have a project manager's view that is set for that group, and they can come in and they would get this as a home page, but you can basically set anything up that you like there. So anywhere here that is in blue lets me drill down to the data that's underneath it. So if I was to click here under this project, it would take me straight to the project, and I would get all the information on that project that I would like to use. I'm going to come back there in a minute, and we're going to talk a lot about the Construction Edition today, but just before we do, I want to talk a little bit about some of the great features that MYOB Advanced has. I just click on this button here, this MYOB button, that takes me back to home. First thing you'll notice here, I'm logged in as Thrive Constructions. One of the great things about MYOB Advanced is it's multi-company, multi-entity, multi-department, multi-division, any way you want to set it up. So there's no need to get out of here and log into another company. You can do it all from the one place, and you can set your jobs to those different entities and different companies, and it'll just all work. The other thing about MYOB Advanced is it's a fully web-based product, or SaaS, software as a service, which means that I can get to it from any web browser, be it on a phone, be it on a tablet or a computer, and simply put in this URL in the top, click the button, enter my credentials, and I'm in. There's lots and lots of great functionality in the advanced product range. So you have all your modules down here on the left hand side, and we're going to talk a lot about the construction module today, but just so that you're aware of all the functionality the product has, you have your finance modules, your payables, your receivables, your normal sorts of modules. Within every module, if I go in there, there's a standard setup here where we have transactions where you do things, profiles where you set things up, different processes that you can run, and you can set workflows up in there, reports and inquiries. These are some of the main modules here, and of course you know MYOB Advanced is very strong in distribution, but you also have other modules that you can use as well. So it has a fixed assets module, it does foreign currency, and that means for construction companies, if you're working offshore somewhere, you can record in those currencies, and it will convert it back to Australian currencies. It has a full marketing and opportunities and CRM area, and you can even use it for tender management in the construction space. Put all your documentation in there, all your tender documents, all your drawings, all of those sorts of things. And if you win the job, you can actually bring it in and attach all that to the job. It has an equipment module for people like civil companies that want to cost their equipment to the job and build that out. Service management module for businesses that build construction projects and then they have to go in and service it, which is very strong. And then a few other things as well. There's a full payroll module in here. So it's very, very, very functional. And for businesses that are a bit different, it's great, and you can put together a really nice package that'll run your whole business. I'm just going to go back here to the main menu again too. A couple of other things about MYOB which is great. One of them is this help menu. So you see I'm on the dashboards here. I could click in here and I could go and change this design. Or if I wanted to get some more information or know how to do it, I can simply click this help menu. And what it will do is that it will bring up all sorts of nice things. So basically, this bit here about procedure is how to do things, how to add a chart, a column, a bar chart, widgets, etc., etc. Then there's a whole area on concepts. It go through and explains what a widget is, and so on and so forth. Then you have references in here about things, and then you have a whole lot of educational and training resources. All of these forms and guides are editable as well. So you can bring them up, you can save them, you can edit it and put your own things in there. So fantastic help system. Okay, so back to our product here. So let's go and have a look at that job again. Let's drill down. So this job here is for a home builder. So if you're familiar with the way home builders work, basically build homes, all of the things that I need for this particular job in here. So let's just have a bit of a look around how all this works. So we have a summary area here. In the summary area is where I set up how the project's going to work. So basically what level I want to bill at, what I want to report at. I have various things about when I want to bill it. So this is set to on demand. I could do it as a monthly bill if I wanted to. Where am I going to post this to? So this particular job relates to this location. That's all set there. One of the terms of the job. Over here on the right, just basic information about where the project is at. And I also have down here retentions. So you can have step retentions in a job, you can have normal retentions in a job, and you just set the table in the background. And then you also have what you want your progress bill to look like here. MYOB Construction is job centric, which is really great. So basically you can go into the job and you can do everything you need in here. Let's go through and have a look at what's in some of these tabs. So first we have tasks. So tasks can be cost tasks, or they can be revenue tasks, or they can be a cost and revenue task if you wanted to track your costs against a particular revenue item. Next we have a revenue budget. So if you're familiar with the way home builders bill their houses, it's basically a percentage of the total contract, and there's a deposit down the slab and so on and so forth. I've already done some billing in here, which we'll talk about in a minute. Then I've got a cost budget. So a cost budget's basically the task and the cost code and some hours and some dollars put against that, and I'll go through it and get very detailed in here if I want to. Then I have balances. So this tells me where I'm at on the job. So I've got my revenue here, my original, and I've also got a revised amount. I've got some variations in here that are going to up the amount of the revised budget. Then I have my expenses in here, labour, material, subcontract, with all the totals in there as well. So it's basically giving me a running total of what's going on. I have commitments. So commitments are purchase orders and subcontracts. So again, I can just basically come in here, I can press the button to create a subcontract, and away I go. I'll just have a look at one while we... So this will paint the screen. I put it against the project, the task, and the cost code. And then when I'm in the commitment here, there's a whole lot of things that I can do. I can look at various information. I could put a variation in against this. MYOB has this actions menu. So when I click this actions menu, there's a whole lot of things that I can do here. So I could put it on hold. I could print this and email it out. I could enter an accounts payable bill directly as the subcontract. I can complete it. I could also do a prepayment. So this might be really useful if you're ordering some special material and the vendor wants you to put a down payment on it. Maybe it's an expensive piece of glass or something like that. Again, I just move around. I have these screens at the top where I can move forward. I can move back to the next one. And I can move around them there. I then have invoices. So these are invoices from progress bills that I've done. If I go back here to my revenue budget, just to show you, it's a pretty simple process. I set up my contract, and this can be done any way that I want to. I tell it that it's 100% complete. I run the project billing. I then go through the project billing. I approve the progress claim. I can send the progress claim out. When it comes back, I can adjust it, and then I can turn it into a tax invoice. When I turn it into a tax invoice, it has an AR invoice number, and it will produce an AR invoice and post it through to the various places. Then I have variations. I've got a few variations in here. They can be different types of variations here. See, I've got some client request ones and an internal variation. So this one's for a lockup, some additional hours that need to be spent, some additional dollars. I can, against these variations, I can have a cost budget. So in this particular case, it's going to cost me $2,500, but I'm going to put 50% margin on that, a markup on that, and then sell it to the client for $5,000 in this case. And what I can do that with a markup, and I can set the markup in here as I want and by the different projects. Also have, before you have a change order or a variation, you have a variation request. So basically I do a variation request, same as we saw on the previous screen. I send it away to the client to approve it. It comes back. There's a workflow in the change request. And basically what I do when it comes back, I go to actions and I approve it, and then I create a variation from it, and I can email that out. One of the things also in MYOB is really cool is the activities area in here. So you can see this is telling me all of the things that have happened on this change request. So on the 9th of February, I set up the change request. I did a follow-up on the 13th. And here it's ready for, and I could add a task anytime I want. I could add an event with a reminder in. I could put an email in here, so on and so forth. So just click back to the top of the summary project. I just want to show you how easy it is to set up a project as well. So this is a live project here. If I go back to my favorites, and I didn't show you what the favorites do, but I will in a minute, and I go to this project templates area, what I can do is I can set up a template for the different types of jobs that I do. This would be really useful in companies that might have a commercial construction division and a home builder division. So what I can do with this template is set it up exactly the way that I want it to work. So you see familiar things in here for the home builder stuff that I showed you in the previous job there. So I can come through and I can put all the tasks in here, the standard tasks, how I want them to work. I can put in how the revenue would work, and all I do enter in is the dollars, the cost budget. I might even have employees that I want to put on the job, like a supervisor that always goes there, or if I'm a civil company, I can have various equipment that I want to send to the job or have that billable and so on. Another really cool thing about MYOB generally, but MYOB construction, is this little upload from file tab here. So what that means is it doesn't particularly matter what estimating system you're using. You can import estimate into here. Basically, you can send out a standard record, send it to Excel, pre-fill it, and upload it from a file. This works everywhere in the system, and it's fantastic. You can do the same with a BOQ or a particular way that a client wants to get billed for a job. Make it stand. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to my favorite. The way this favorites works is wherever I am and whatever button that I can come down here and click. Say I wanted to click. As soon as that yellow star goes in there, it goes to my favorites, which is pretty cool. So all the things that you want to use is in there. Another thing that's really fantastic is the search facilities here. Type in bill. Anywhere where that word bill is, it's going to bring that up as possible options for me to go to. So that's extremely powerful, and that means you can get around the system really easily. Okay, so let's go back to job. So we've talked about basically setting up the job. I just run the job. I do everything from here that I need to do. I've got a whole set of reports that I can run here as well. You can create your own reports. You can put your own in the system. There's another couple of pieces to the construction edition that I want to talk about today. One of them is project management. So in this project management area, you have basically documentation that you want to keep for the job. You could do that. You can keep that on the job as well, but these are particular types of documents that go out to. Most common is a daily field report. So you'll find that most construction businesses run a daily field report these days for a whole lot of reasons. A lot of it is for possible litigation further down the track, and they need to prove that what they were doing on the site on a particular day. And there's a whole lot, or any activities that occurred. So this is sometimes called the site diary or a daily log. It's called a daily field report in here. So basically, I'm recording everything that's happening on this site. So things that I can do, I can report employees that worked on the job, how many hours they worked on the job, time they were there, and what they did, and put them into cost code. Any change requests I want to bring up. So there might be an issue on a site that I want to raise someone's attention to. In this case, I've got plumber to fix the leaking pipes. I can raise a variation on site. I can record what subcontractors were on site that day and how many hours they did and what jobs they did as well. Any issues I have on a job. So this could be anything. You might just want to record the fact that you were a bit worried about something and record it as an issue. I can put photos in here if I want to. I can record the weather. So that's sometimes very important. You might have a contract that has to finish on a particular day if you're a commercial contractor or you're a subcontractor. So you could record what weather occurred on the day. You could take a picture. You could attach it in there. And you could use this for a basis possibly for notice of delay or an extension of time claim. But back here as well, these daily field reports get saved, so I've got a complete history of what happened on the job every day. I've got a photo log area. I also have drawing logs. So in a drawing log here, I can look at all the drawings that are on a particular job. I can bring them up, have pictures of them there, have them being able to be viewed by a supervisor or a project manager or someone on site. I can put revisions in here. I can add a new revision in here, create a drawing, email the drawing out to a group of people, and so on and so forth. That's project management in there. There's a few other things. You can do a request for information, which construction people would be familiar with. What you might want to do is ask someone like an architect or the owner in a particular building situation, what do I do with this? And this will record that and bring that through and end up on the job. So this does basic project management type functions. We do have, if you wanted to have a very, very robust and really fully functional project management system, MYOB Advanced Construction also has a Procore edition. So for those of you who are familiar with Procore, it is very, very full.